Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their Luxe life.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. We're back with another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. I'm with my co-host Shannon Richmond.
Hello, Rick.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Why don't you introduce our guest today?
Oh, we have Cheryl Fulcher with MaryKay. You should see her office.
Well, I did. Tell us.
It's pink.
It is pink. It is pink.
For sure.
Her car's pink.
Car's pink.
Yeah.
My whole world's pink, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
Nothing wrong with that, is
No,
it?
it's not.
Yes. You describe her office.
Oh my gosh, it's like a Barbie dream come true. It's so beautiful in there. It's so luxurious. It's just a nice place, like an oasis for a woman to get away and be pampered.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. So thank you.
Oh,
I appreciate you
Perfect.
affirming me for that. Yes, perfect.
And I think all of our guests today were vendors at the bridal show yesterday.
Yes.
And Cheryl was one and brought her a couch, a new couch she ordered for her office, just got it in, and almost didn't leave with it. Because you had vendors wanting to buy it.
Two people wanted to buy my pink velvet couch, but
yeah.
I had to fight to come home with it. So, it was good. I got it though.
So tell us about your background. You're a local, but you're not a local. Is
Right.
I guess the best way to describe
A little
it, right?
bit of both. I grew up vacationing down here for years, and we bought a vacation house after I got married, not long after I got married, so we kind of lived half the time down here.
Yeah.
And then in end of 2018, we moved down full-time, so from Georgia, originally from Atlanta, Georgia. So,
Okay.
really quick, easy getaway every weekend to come down. So that's why we did it for 17 years, mainly in the summers, and so, but now we're locals.
That's and you still get all the seasons here.
Exactly.
I found that out the last few visits because it's been cold.
It's been a little,
a little
I don't
chilly.
mind it being colder, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the seasons.
So, okay, now you're a MaryKay rep. Mm-hmm. So tell us about your
She's
connection.
not just a rep.
I know, that's what I was going to
Okay.
Yeah. But tell us, you're more than that with MaryKay. So tell us about your involvement and the level you are.
I have been in MaryKay for 27 years almost. March 5th is my 27th anniversary coming up.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. It's kind of fun. I started as a young girl, just really literally wanted to make a little extra money. I was in school to be an RN. That's all I ever wanted to be was an RN my whole life. And so started just playing with MaryKay to make my car payment. And then it became really good money. And so I've stuck with it, been here a long time, and became a national sales director in 2013, which is their highest level. And so I've enjoyed mentoring, training, loving on women, and helping them build the business now is what I do.
Right. National Sales Director. So what area do you cover then?
The entire nation, so all over.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Really? So you travel quite a bit with this?
Travel a lot, all over the United States. And so we have people in California, we have people all over Colorado, North Carolina, all over the East Coast. So, yeah, it's fun.
I had no idea about that. I just thought you were local to the area, or maybe
No,
Northwest
everywhere.
Florida.
Thank the Lord. And now I get to travel. I'm going back to traveling now. I'm so excited. So,
Yes.
2 years I've been kind of missing my people. Now I get to go see my people. So, yeah.
So I got to know you when we did a concept shoot, and you did the makeup for the model for the bridal gown, that the bride for the show, and so that's where we got to know you and just impressed with you and what you did, and of course for me being a planner, of course cosmetics, that's not my thing, so it's always great to have that key person to come in and be able to. The models are beautiful anyway, but when you do your touch, it enhances everything. So yeah,
it's fun. I'm doing a lot with the Sheraton right now. I've got a wedding to do tomorrow with them, and so I just love it. I love making their day special and making them feel like a princess, because that's their day to feel like a princess.
It is, right?
So, yeah.
Right. So has there been a challenge though over the years that stands out above anything else that you can share?
Which one do you want, Rick?
Let's hear a couple, because I think those are fun to know about. Yeah.
So there have been quite a few challenges in my journey, and I do a lot of training on this because I'm like, really want people to know you just got to stick with something. There are ups and downs to anything. And, we always think the grass is greener on the other side.
Sure.
But stick with it. Build what you feel called to build. And so one of my biggest challenges was so funny. I went and drove about an hour to do back in the day when we would go to everybody's homes. Now we do a lot virtually. But I was driving about an hour to her house. And I had just talked to her that morning, got to her home, long way to get to her home back before GPS. I need to remind everybody of that. Okay.
Right.
So the hardest part.
There were days before the GPS.
Oh my gosh. So I always said the hardest part of Mary Kay literally is going back home after you've done a party. Because you get there in the daylight, you've got to go back in the dark.
That's true, yeah.
And there was no GPS. So figuring out what road to go back on, it was crazy. So I had driven all the way to her house, got there, and she did not answer the door. So I've told this story a lot over the years, and so I call it my peek through the blinds story because she literally, I could see her in her home.
Oh, really?
She peeked through the blinds, yeah, and never answered the door. And so I was standing there. I was pretty young, maybe 25-ish at the time, and I knocked on her door, and I, waited, and I was excited, and I knock again, and I wait, and nobody ever comes to the door. And I always tell my area that was the hardest walk I've probably ever walked from her porch back to my car. Because I really wanted to bust out crying, but I was determined she was not going to see me cry. I got in the car, put my, stuff in the car, and I remember thinking, why did I quit my job? Because it happened right after I quit my full-time job, and I had quit college to be a nurse.
Oh, goodness.
And so I kind of scared my family to death. I went out on faith to do this, and I remember that drive back home, and I remember crying and thinking, okay, I don't know why I did this. I got to go get my job back. And so I just remember that evening, like halfway into that drive, I remember thinking, you know what? No, she doesn't get to win. And I remember this just whisper that the Lord said to me, Cheryl, I've got you. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. It matters what I've called you to do. And so I got myself together. I drove home the rest of the way with no tears. And the funniest thing happened. This is how I always tell this story. It was the coolest thing to me. About 3 years later, I won one of the top trips in Mary Kay, and so we were on a Greek Isle cruise, and we were at the top of Santorini, okay? One of the most beautiful places on the planet. And my husband has built this business with me the entire time. He was actually the one that encouraged me to go full-time. And I remember, I'll never forget this, you guys. Oh, my gosh. He turned around and he looked at me at one of those moments, and he was like, we were at the top of Santorini, standing on one of, overlooking the most blue water you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Every wall in the city is white. Right. And he looked at me, and he said, you know what, babe? I just want to say thank you for this life, because I cannot believe we get to live this life. Thank you for what you've built. And I always joke and always say, I swear there was a tear rolling down his face. It was like one of those moments. But you know what happened in that moment? Instantly in that moment, I saw that lady's face.
I was going to say, yeah.
And I thought, thank goodness I didn't quit. I'm so glad I did not let someone with lack of character and integrity get to have a power in my destiny. And so I was so grateful I didn't quit in that moment. And then the other little, mischievous side of me said, I bet her husband's not sitting in Santorini on over her right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Now tell him what he's saying to her. Yeah.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Steiner Event Group. Steiner Event Group is a national event planner that produces results for their clients. They offer event and wedding planning on any scale, hosting bridal shows, scouting talented models, and producing riveting concept photo shoots to help their clients expand their brands, products, and services. Whether you're a business professional aiming to take your brand to the next level, planning a corporate or private event, a bride seeking to have the wedding of your dreams, or
But isn't that amazing, just to remember that and really not quit? Look where you are today.
Thank God I didn't quit.
That's right. That's awesome.
And always doing the right thing. That's one thing that has really stuck out to me in a lot of instances lately, because, you're a woman of faith.
Absolutely.
And so I am a man of faith, and I believe that God calls us for different purposes at different times.
Right.
And I think, it's really being reinforced to me lately. I didn't lead you this far to let you go.
Right.
And so I have to always do, and Shannon's going to be like, really, after what you've complained about lately? But at the same time, though, you have to stand firm in what you believe. And it doesn't mean you're a coward and get pushed over. That's, so you have to stand firm and go with it.
He never promised us roses and rainbows. He said, I'll make you stronger through it all.
Right.
And he'll build your character. And he's always kind of chipping away at building our character and refining us to make us more like Christ. And so I believe that every stumbling block has a purpose. And it is to get better, and it is to have a story to tell other people, to get them through the moments. And, now I look back, and I have hundreds of people that I train and mentor, and I love them dearly. And I thank God I have a few stories to tell them, because if mine were so simple, I don't know how I would coach them through the moments that aren't for them.
And don't you, if you're like me, you're a little concerned with people who have never had an issue or stumbling block. It's like, come on.
Right, really.
You
Like,
did.
yeah,
You're just not
there's got to
telling
be
us.
something
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's many. But, thank God that I did decide that the Lord had called me here. And like what you just said, Rick, God didn't bring us this far to only bring us this far.
Right.
I've always loved that saying because, Paul tells us we just got to, keep going. The prize is there. You've just got to keep pushing. So
That's
I feel
true.
like it's just part of our Christian faith. And Mary Kay built a very Christian organization. It was all built around God first, family second, career third. That's always been her motto, that and the golden rule. So it's been cool to build a business on those principles.
That's
And then she was
awesome.
very charitable also and
Very.
gave back to the community. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
So every week I do an event and I speak on that. And so we've given it to date $58 million to domestic
Wow.
violence and local women's shelters all over the nation. And so she did create the Mary Cash Charitable Foundation. We're at $58 million for domestic violence, and that money goes straight cash into local shelters all over the nation, which is pretty cool. Usually $20,000 to $25,000 grants when they get them per shelter. And then we've donated over $22 million to cancer research, cancers that affect women. Mary Kay's daughter died of cancer, so she was very, very passionate about that charitable foundation. So
That's so
That's neat.
nice.
they give
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
yeah.
they're great.
So things changed when COVID hit. You were going and people were coming in and doing. How
Yeah.
did that change for your business?
Well, we panicked, and we were like,
Like most of us did.
what happened now?
It's like, I didn't come this far to be poor and out of work.
Like,
No.
what do I do now? I was like, oh my gosh, Lord. So what happened at that point is, Mary Kay world, we always say the winners learn to pivot, and you figure it out. If it happened, God knew it was going to happen, and He has already provided a way to make it work. So we had to, quit panicking. We'd had a couple of days of panic, and then we realized we had already started working virtually, like years before this. And we were like, we can work virtually.
Yeah.
So we started and perfected a party. Now we're about 2 years into this, so I've got this party nailed. I love my party now. And we literally mail the samples to people. They sit there. They try it with us on Zoom. Thank God for Zoom. And so we Zoom with them. And like last Wednesday, I sat in here, did a party for one of my new consultants. We sold $882. None of us ever
Wow.
left our home. And so
Nice.
we
Yeah.
make half in Mary Kay. So she's a mom who has a child with special needs. She's an RN, can't work right now. It makes me so happy that I just helped her make $440 and she never left her home or her kids.
Right.
And so that's how virtual has actually made it easier for us now. And I have more people across the nation than ever because I can reach them. So we panicked for a minute, but God is good and God is
But you
through that.
pivoted.
Even better. We pivoted and here we are.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, it's cool.
All right. So, Mary Kay, how old is the company?
58 years.
58 years.
Almost 59.
And
So-
you've been with them over half that time.
27 in March.
Wow.
Crazy,
Wow, that
long
is
time.
unreal.
I
Yeah.
started when I was 19, so I started very young. I've been with them more than I haven't in my life. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So, do you run into it with it being that old of a company? We say, okay, I'm just saying like this, that old of a company. You run into people like younger people that are hesitant because it's Mary Kay. It's like my grandma's or mom's.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a?
It is a thing. And so I would really credit Mary Kay, early 2000s, probably even-ish, around 2010-ish maybe. They worked hard on our marketing campaign, and they really changed the look of our products, the design of our products, colors of our products to reach that younger generation.
Right.
And now we have more younger women making over six figures, really honestly, that are in their 20s and 30s, than we do women who are older. And so
Interesting. Okay, good.
they did have to go through a mark, because it did get a stigma.
Yeah.
When everything was pink, if you walk in my office, you're going to see the classic Mary Kay that I started with in the 90s, okay? I keep it there as a reminder of this is where my roots are. This is what got me started. But the products have developed into this beautiful, classy, on-trend, cutting-edge, really nice product, packaging and products. And so Mary Kay's done a great job. They spend millions every year on product research and development. So they know what's needed out there, and they keep us cutting edge, thank goodness. So sometimes we have to overcome that stigma, but most of the time when people try it or see our products or meet the consultants, we can overcome it pretty
The
easy.
consultants are the key there.
Right.
Yeah.
Personal
I mean, even though
service.
the whole branding and marketing is important, if the consultants can't convey it and be representative, then you're in trouble. Yeah.
Exactly, because we are their sales force, and we are the ones who take it to their end consumer. And so and I will tell you, Mary Kay takes such good care of us. They love, and she was always said, P&L means profit, or in her company doesn't mean profit, and loss, it means people in love. And that is exactly how they treat us, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's good.
So if somebody were to call you for a consult, what does that look like when they come to your office? What is that? deep entail?
Yeah.
I mean,
What do we do?
yeah.
So they walk in, and I have a profile that I fill out with them because I want to know what they want to know. I'm not going to just launch into something and say, this is what it's all about. Tell me what you want to know. Are there things with your complexion you want to overcome? Do you have dryness, oiliness? Do you want a new glamour look? Do you want a new on-trend look? What do you want? And then we go from there and kind of build it to her needs because everybody's different.
So you're not looking at your most expensive product to try to say, do you need this?
No. No.
Well, no, we know that. I say
mean,
that because there are a lot of people out
right,
there
that
do that. Yeah.
And here's the deal. We are really more interested in long-term relationships.
Right.
That's what matters. So I have a customer. I love her so much, Miss Judy K. Okay, Miss Judy literally has been with me for 26 years. She's gorgeous.
Is that right?
She's in her 80s. You would never know it. Her skin is flawless. I love Miss Judy. So I don't want to oversell people. I want them to come back to me because
Sure.
I'm not a one-time sell. I'm a lifelong relationship, if that makes sense. And
No,
so
yes.
I want them to coming back. And so if I oversell them, I'm a saleswoman to them. I'm not a friend.
Right.
I'm not a relationship with them. But I want them, when they see a product in Target, to go, no, I'm going to call Cheryl. You know what I mean? Like, I
Get
want
her
that
opinion. Yeah,
relationship. I know Cheryl's got something like that. And so I always say, if your customers don't know your name, you are not doing your job. If they don't really know you, you're not doing your job. And so I love
That's a
my
good point. I
customers.
like
Yeah.
that.
So do you have some help for men?
Absolutely. All kind of products.
We need-
Skincare.
Thanks a lot, Shannon.
You're welcome.
We have eye cream for men. My husband has just started using that. And I've got some funny stories about men's products.
Well,
But,
let's
yeah.
hear one.
Okay. So,
Or two. Yeah.
Or we'll get Rick over there for a consult. We'll have a whole.
Right, right. We'll just do
have,
the,
we'll
yeah.
have
more
all the
stories.
men. I'll bring them in. We do men's parties too. I got it a little pink for men's parties, didn't I? But anyway, you need it. So
You've got a
this
blue
is-
room for the
I
men.
got- right.
yeah.
We'll come in here. Can we borrow this? We can put the blue light on in here.
That's right.
This'll work. But literally, so I'm always talking to my husband about his skin because I always joke and say, honey, I want to be looking young and cute when I'm 60. So you need to
You need
use
to
the
do
product too.
something.
And so he's like, okay. So we really have always lived in the country. I always joke and say, when I moved to Panama City Beach, that's the first time I've ever lived on pavement. And I've always lived on a long gravel road in the middle of nowhere. So we were out one night. I was out working with the chickens. We've always had chickens, or had chickens at the time. And so I was trying to move the chicken coop. And it was a big chicken coop one night. It was kind of late at night, but I needed to get the chicken coop moved. So I'm over here struggling to get the chicken coop moved, get it in the garage because I was afraid of the storm coming. And I'm hollering for my husband, but he's not answering me or he's not coming. And I walk in the door, open the door, and I holler
No.
for him. Nobody comes. And I'm like, what in the world? So I finally walk in. You know where he was?
Did he have a mask on?
Yes, he
Did he?
did.
Right now?
Oh my gosh! I was like, "You have got to be kidding me!" He's laid up in the bed with my charcoal mask on,
That
and
is
I'm out
great.
here sweating like a pig over here, trying to move a chicken coop. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh, that's hilarious.
He said, "You told me I need good skin." So
That's right. He did what you asked,
did what
and
I
then
He
just
still
not-
got in trouble.
it
Just
was
not
at
at
an
the right
inconvenient
time.
time.
Yeah,
It was
right.
not convenient for me, but I got the chicken coop moved, so it's
That
all good.
is that's interesting. Well,
Yeah,
I
so
believe
like the
that.
stigma of like Mary Kay and grandmas or moms is now any woman,
Right.
And-
whatever age, and now men.
Yeah.
Right.
When
I-
did the men's line come into effect?
We've had it a while, pretty much ever since I've started. Yeah,
Oh,
it's always
really?
been men's line. We've
Never
had
knew
men's,
that.
Yeah, shave foam, all men's whole skincare line. Because men, around the eyes, everybody starts to wrinkle first around the eyes. Men, women, it doesn't matter. And so we have an eye cream for men. That's the first place you can tell your age. Your eyes and the back of your hands are your first, usually signs. The décolleté too. And so, yeah, we've had great
Wait,
men's lines.
look.
I know we're all like, no, literally, I have creams that stay on my desk, and every day they're there to remind me to do my hands. They're just for my hands. And my bathroom at home is for my face. That's just for my hands. And in my décolleté, I'll rub it here too, because that's where you can see aging faster than anywhere. So we have it for men too. Why are you looking at Shannon? That's so funny.
We always give each other a
Hard time. That's hilarious.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Orville's Men's Store. Thank you, Orville's Men's Store, for supplying the men's clothing for today's podcast. For the absolute best in casual and dress wear for men, visit orvillesms.com. That's O.
Well, now, and I believe that you have a customer right here close by.
I do. I'm so excited. She loves
Yeah.
our product.
I
So,
do.
It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Like
yeah.
when I start to run low, I'm like, oh, Cheryl,
Cheryl, just text me.
That's it.
or I'll take a picture, or I'll take a
Just
picture.
what I need.
Like I don't even remember what it is, but she knows.
I'll know.
Yeah,
Good. It's
yeah.
And
all
I'll
on file.
say I
That's a
need
good
this.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
work right there.
It's all on file. So yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, I went to buy my wife some makeup one time, thinking I knew what she wanted,
Right.
Uh-oh.
and then they asked me all these questions, and the last thing they said,
And
well,
you're
maybe
like-
she could use a chubby stick, and I
Oh.
said, I would never,
never.
buy my wife a chubby stick, because I could see her saying, well, why do you think I need a chubby stick?
Right.
You know, why are you doing
Why would it
And
be
so I
called
was
a
telling her
chubby
about it. She
stick?
goes, oh, I needed one of those. I'm like, well, I would never buy
I wasn't
one.
gonna buy
No,
it for you.
No.
You
I'm
go
not
buy
going to be the
yourself.
one to, yes, right. Because
funny.
it'd be like, why do you think I
Yeah.
need a chubby
What is a
stick?
chubby stick? Yes.
So do you host parties?
I do.
And then what's the biggest party we could have? And look, I'm
I know,
preparing.
this is
I know, you're
exciting.
like-
I know. Hey, girl, I can handle whatever. I can do about 8 to 10 comfortably.
Okay.
And so 5 or 6 is a great size. 8 to 10 is perfect. If it gets bigger, we'll just go to my house because I've got it all set up at my house. There's plenty of room in my house.
Is
So-
it all pink too?
No.
No.
It's not. It's very beachy. My house is very beachy. But yes, I love a fun girls' night. So we call them girls' night out or Saturday morning in whatever you want to do. And so we have a
Okay.
lot of fun. Everybody gets spa treatment, microdermabrasion, charcoal mask. We do facial peels. And so we deep treat your skin and then we'll touch on color, whatever people want for color.
How much fun
It's
is
a
that?
spa
Hanging
night.
out with your girlfriends?
Right.
Just
We
a
have
little
Getting
hors d'oeuvres.
pampered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All kind of hors d'oeuvres, whatever you want to drink. And so it's just a fun night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun. I love doing it. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of relationship you're going to build with them, and
Sure.
Right.
and what you guys are going to go through in life together. So it's fun.
Ah.
And that's a good point, because it's not just a one-time sale. These are
Right.
relationships you build.
Yeah.
And it's not just through the cosmetics. It's like you go through life experiences with them.
Together
Yeah.
for sure. So
Yeah.
we always joke and say when a woman takes her makeup off in front of you, she'll say anything. Like we just start to feel more comfortable. We're like, okay, we're girlfriends now. We have no
Right.
makeup on together, so we're okay.
It's
Oh,
like
that's so
that
funny.
barrier's gone.
Right,
yeah.
the walls are down. Everybody's okay to talk and be real, and that's what I love most. And I get to know their girlfriends, and it's just kind of neat to see people doing life with their friends and their tribe, and get to know them and be a part of it. Honestly,
You had
So-
mentioned earlier you did a seminar or conference lately or recently. What was that for? Was it a training?
It's a training. I
So-
do weekly training several times a week, and then events for people several times a week. So,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
that's one reason I had to move up here because I'm on Zoom, or whatever platform I'm using all the time. And I was telling Shannon, my office is very open. It's in a loft above the living room, and I was driving my family crazy. They're like, "Can you please find somewhere else to work?" And so,
Well,
nobody could have a
just
TV
go-
on. Nobody could,
Oh,
so
that's right. Yeah.
It's just because my house is such an open concept, so I just needed to be able to close the door. So,
Right. Wow.
and that's how I got
See,
up
and you were
here.
so excited
I was to get.
about having your office at your home. Just didn't work
Then
out.
they kicked me out. And so
Oh.
they're like, "Mom, go work somewhere
It's like,
else."
please leave.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. We need our living room
We
back.
need a life. Yeah.
Right.
So, no.
So, yeah.
That's great though. That's
kind of
good.
fun.
How did
Yeah.
you earn your pink car? What does it take to earn a pink car?
Oh my gosh, Pink Car is incredible. So it takes about 100 people on your team to win a pink car or earn a pink car. We always have to say earn it. And so I was 24 when I earned my first pink Cadillac.
Seriously.
Wow.
And my friends were even like making fun of me and like, okay, are you really going to drive that? I'm like, y'all, it is free. And I have worked
It
my
was a
tail off
Cadillac,
because
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
my third car at the time. There are different level cars. So I had already been through the other 2 levels. And so I was 24.
At 24. Wow.
I'll never forget that party, picking that up and just having my family there. Oh my gosh, we all went to dinner afterwards and we parked it. We were like, we're going to have to sit in that section of the restaurant because we all have to sit here and look at the car. And so we sat where we could see out the
great.
window and see the car. My family was so proud. It was a really cool moment. But
Yeah.
I do have a God story about that if you want me to share it.
Yes.
Coolest story. I've always promised the Lord I would give him glory for this. So earning a pink Cadillac is a process. So you need about 100 people at least on your team, and it takes about 100,000 in wholesale sales. So that would be 200,000
Right.
retail in a 6-month window. Okay, and so you got to have
Wow.
a large team. Things have got to be hopping. So we had gotten, how we just said, God didn't bring us this far to only bring us this far, right? So we got to the very last day, and you have to earn it in quarters. So if I didn't finish it this day, I would have to wait another 3 months. We came down to the last day of that quarter. I was almost done, but we still had $3,000 to go. And I had no idea. Okay, when you get to 97,000, you only need 3,000. I mean, you're like, okay, I can find 3,000, but it was like getting 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I didn't know where this $3,000 was going to come from. And I just had this overwhelming spirit to go get on my knees. And so I just went, there was nobody else in the house, got on my knees, prayed. I was just like, Lord, I know we have come this far. I know that you have called me here. I know this is supposed to happen. I had all felt like it. I told everybody it was happening. And all of a sudden, it was the weirdest thing, and you do kind of have to be spiritual to understand this, but all of a sudden, I just felt like my right hand was like so big. It was so weird that I even had to open my eyes and look at my hand, and I was like, that was interesting. And I, honest to goodness, heard this just like this whisper in my soul that said, it's okay, sweet girl, I've got you. And I was like, I had the most peace I had ever had.
Oh,
and
I just got the chills.
and there was nobody in the house, and I wanted to tell somebody that my hand blew up for a minute, but it really didn't. And so I was like, it was just a weird sensation. And so
Right.
I sit back in my office chair, and I'm just sitting there for a few minutes. And I'll just remember like praying and thinking and going, that was really interesting. I was a little, honestly, like freaked out a little bit, but I was like, that was cool. Okay, Lord, feel peace. Within 10 minutes, my phone rang. This is a true story. A man had picked up my card in a nail salon, okay? And he said, hi, is this Cheryl Fulcher? And I said, it is. And he said, I got your card, so-and-so, and there was a book there too. And he said, I would really like for my wife to sell Mary Kay, but I hear you're pretty good at Mary Kay. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to be. I hope I am. And we have a quick conversation, and he said, well, I want to get her started, but I want her to have everything she needs. What does that cost? And I said, well, our starter kits are $100. And he said, no, I mean, like, does she need product on hand? And I said, yeah, that's a good thing to have. If you want to go that route, he said, well, we have set aside $3,000 to spend on
word.
this. I will never forget. I just went, like, I don't even know what I said to the man next, because I was like, you have got to
And to
be
name that
kidding
exact
me.
amount.
The
Yeah.
exact amount. And so I just remember, like, my hands just started shaking. And I met him that day. It was back in the day before all the computer systems, so I had to drive it to Swanee, Georgia. And I had to get in my car. I live south of Atlanta, and I had literally 3 hours. By the time I met him, he gave this stranger he's never met $3,000. And I'm driving all of this up to the Swanee Distribution Center, pulling in on 2 wheels on a Friday afternoon. I got there with, honestly, like 30 minutes to spare and earned that pink Cadillac because that man called me. And I've
Wow,
always
that's-
promised the Lord he would get glory for that story, because I do feel like when we come so far in life, God is going to fill your gaps. But he does require us to come so far.
Exactly.
I think people sit around waiting for God to do the work, like, well, God's going to send me a sign. He will, but he does require your effort before the gaps are filled.
Right.
And I really do believe the
Yeah.
faith and the effort has to be there, and he's never let me down with filling my gaps with those kind of things.
I
That's
love
neat,
that.
yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Absolutely.
So thankful for the man and $3,000,
Right.
and thankful for the
Honestly.
lady that peeked out the blinds who wouldn't come
Exactly.
to the door.
Never came to the door.
Wow.
Yep. Made me stronger, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When my wife and I first got married, I don't know if I ever told anybody this outside of a few friends when we were first married, but there was well, I don't want to say the name of the company, but, they bring their direct in, and they come visit with you, and her aunt and uncle were in this business, and so they were going to come from Tennessee to see us, and we're supposed to invite all of our friends over. We're newly married. We live in a new town, and we didn't want to be known as those people,
Right. Right.
So we didn't invite anybody. And then they show up, and we're keep walking out to our deck over our balcony, and say, I don't know where everybody
Where's
is.
everybody
And
at?
Did you
so-
really say that?
yeah,
Oh.
we were young and didn't know better. Yeah, so,
Just like, it's okay, right?
Yeah,
Well,
so-
you're just kind of embarrassed either way. Like, are we
Yeah.
going to embarrass our friends? Or are we
right,
gonna,
right. So
Or just embarrass ourselves.
We're just
Right,
not
it's-
good.
we'll
At,
just
I'm not a
embarrass
good I couldn't be a good salesperson, so I don't think.
Yeah.
So
Well, you do have to love to talk. My family, literally, I'm not even kidding. They'll say, Mom, can we just go to dinner without talking to everybody? Like, whatever. That's no fun, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess. And
But
so,
but I do
love it,
like to
though.
talk, as you and Shannon
Right.
does too. So we have
You
fun
just
with
have to
this.
like to talk. Yeah.
But yeah,
People.
but that's how you get to know people
Right.
and just learn about life
Right.
and life experiences and stuff. So.
I posted about the bridal show yesterday today, and I was like, people fascinate me. Like, everybody has a story. I
Right.
love talking to people because everybody has a story, and everybody's fascinating in their own way. And so, yeah. If you just love people, you can be in sales. I tell people that all the time. I really don't like finding the real sales type, because then I have to retrain them not to be pushy. Because I don't
Right.
care whether you want
So
my product or not, I'm not going to push you for it.
That's
you know
a good
what I mean?
point. So what do you do when somebody is real pushy about that?
Well, I
'Cause-
have to retrain them, because
Yeah.
you will push people away. We need to attract people. Mary Kay was brilliant. She always said, all selling is finding a need and filling it. Okay, you don't need to oversell something. If you have something incredible, you don't need to oversell it. It's going to sell itself. And so I do retrain them to sit back, think about the customer, calm down a little bit, and find out what the customer needs.
Yeah.
That's why when I bring you into my studio, I always ask, what do you need first? When I'm not going to tell you everything, I'm going to find out what you want or need. So
That's a good concept. I like that. And it's like if you have to oversell yourself, then there's an issue too.
for sure,
Yeah.
you're
And
usually
then you-
covering up for something.
Right.
You know,
And
so.
you've got to be able to deliver once you get the opportunities, because it doesn't matter how well you oversell in the beginning to get something if you can't
Yeah.
back it up
That's
with
right.
Yeah.
quality.
Well, they're
And-
going to see results or either not see results. So
Yeah.
I can't. There's really no lying about it. It's either going to do what it said or it's not.
Yeah.
And so I can't oversell something because they're going to know in 30 days.
That's true,
So,
yeah. So, well, good. Shannon, what would you like to add to this
When
conversation?
can we make my appointment?
Today. Let's go, girl.
Yeah.
I'm always
I
ready.
love doing that.
Oh, it's so fun.
It is.
And so, have you had the party yet?
No, I've been up to her office before.
Yeah.
Had that, yeah.
Yeah.
I had seen some things, yes. So you'll have to come. I would love for you to come.
Okay.
It's a fun treat.
Well,
So next
I
time
want.
Debbie's in town.
Yeah, bring Debbie.
I can't let Debbie around
I had
Shannon
fun,
too
Debbie.
much.
Meeting Debbie. Debbie
Yeah.
and I had fun with her yesterday.
Oh, she enjoyed everything.
She's fun. I like
She
her.
had fun with everybody yesterday,
That's
and
awesome.
so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I just have to watch she and Shannon together.
They
so.
get in a little trouble together.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
imagine Shannon might get in trouble with most anybody. So
That's true.
Shannon's fun. Shannon's got that personality that's just fun.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't
Well,
meet a
good.
stranger.
No,
well, I
you
don't
don't.
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about doing the podcast with her. It's like we never run out of anything to say. So
can imagine.
guests will come on and like, what if I don't know what to say? I'm like, well, we'll make
Something
up
will
for it.
come up.
Yeah, but it's always been
Something will
fun
come
because
up.
everybody, once you get them comfortable and talking about what they enjoy and their
Yeah.
passion, it
Right.
just really, it's amazing how
It
quick
rolls.
the time goes, just like we're out
No,
of time now.
I saw
But
that.
I thank you so much for coming on. It's been great to getting to know you and hearing more about your story and
Yeah.
your journey. So
Thank you. Enjoyed it. How fun. Thank
Yeah.
you for letting me share.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, that concludes our Luxe Life Discovered podcast today. So we will be back soon, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you. Join us next time for another Luxe Life Discovered.